thousands of people continue to line up to see the pontiff lie in state, the late pontiff. Of course, Emma is there on the ground for us. It's looking splendid behind you again, Emma. What's happening there this evening, your time?
Oh, huge crowds once again. So the Vatican says as of 7 p.m. tonight, which was a few hours ago, more than 90,000 people had come to see the Pope lying in state. As a consequence, they've decided to keep the doors of St. Peter's Basilica open for much longer. So instead of closing at midnight, which they didn't even do last night, they kept it open for longer, tonight they're going to stay open till 5:30 a.m. They'll close for an hour and a half. They'll reopen at 7 a.m. and that is the final day that people can pay their respects to the Pope. The doors will then shut at 7 and now we know a little bit more about what will go on after that. An hour later at 8 o'clock, the Camerlengo, so this is essentially the person in charge during this period of sede vacante. So this is Cardinal Kevin Farrell. He'll preside over the service, which will be the sealing of the coffin. There'll be cardinals there as well as other Holy See officials. And then the Vatican has released an image of the tomb. So we know that the Pope will be buried at the Basilica di Santa Maria Maggiore, which is a few kilometres away from here. And they've released an image, which I think you'll be seeing now. It's a really simple tomb, which is in keeping with what the Pope wanted. All it says is Franciscus, which is the Latin name for Francis.
Emma, there has been some criticism of how the queues have been managed. It's been called chaotic, some security concerns as well. Has that been tightened up?
I have to say things seem a lot calmer today. I mean, there are a lot of people behind me at the moment, but at times they've really kept people back. I've got to say, each day that we've been here, we've seen more and more security officials. We've seen police, the carabinieri, we've seen civil protection officers, emergency services, more and more officials trying to keep things calm and make sure people can queue up properly. And for the most part, I have to say today, it's been working pretty well. People say they've been moving through the line pretty quickly, but things of course are really ramping up ahead of the funeral on Saturday. We've heard a bit more about what's to be expected there. So the Vatican says more than 200,000 people are expected to line the streets. As a consequence, Rome's police chief says they will have 8,000 security agents on hand. That includes 2,000 police officers, uniformed police, just in St. Peter's and the main street leading up to it. Then there'll be 1,400 plain-clothed officers out on the streets. A no-fly zone has been enacted over Rome and the Vatican. We have world leaders that are going to be here, 170 delegates. We've got prime ministers, presidents, other leaders, royals as well. Also, there will be checks on the ground, underground and in the air. So the police chief says there'll be snipers on buildings, there'll be anti-drone missiles as well. We're also going to be seeing so many more public transport services available. Lots more trains heading in and out of Rome for the funeral. At the airport, they're expecting up to 20,000 more passengers as people come to see this historic event.
Goodness me, it does sound busy. I can't even imagine the planning that has had to go into this for a number of years now. Emma, you had the chance to see the late pontiff. What was that like for you?
It was really surreal, I have to say. So last night for me, yesterday morning for you, after I spoke to you, I spoke to the news channel, and so we were here quite late, so it was about 1:30 or so in the morning, and as I said, they kept the doors open to St. Peter's a bit longer than expected, but the crowd had really dwindled by that stage, so I decided to see if I could go in, and I managed to, and it was so different to those scenes that we've been seeing where just there have been people everywhere. I walked in, there are a few people in front of me and behind, but really not many at all. So it was going into St. Peter's, of course, you're just struck by the grandeur of it all. And then walking towards the aisle, it was really quiet. They still ushered, even though there weren't many people, they still ushered you past very quickly as you walked past the Pope who was lying in state. But then a lot of people stood either side of the altar. Many people were praying, they were quietly reflecting, some people had their arms around each other. So it was a really, really special, a really poignant moment. And I guess it almost felt like you're part of a community of people coming together for this really special moment in time.